everyone, so welcome back to my channel, Damned Concepts. Hope you are doing good. So as you have seen the information from thumbnail, so this video is all about giving you the information on the bits of 8086 part number 1. So as a revised topic, I am conversing into different parts. So this is part number 1. So before starting the video, I'm having a small preconditions like things. So when you're coming across this particular video, always try to make a best practice of studying the textbook and coming back here, so that it would be helpful for you in order to make you understand and not to end up with confusion. So in the video I have made some of the things to be marked in red color, so try to make a note of them also, not to make a mistake in the examination point of view. So what are you waiting for? So get started. So as discussed, so this video is all about bits on 8086 part number 1. So before going on to the video, whatever things I have marked with red color, so try to make a note of them also. So in order to make you efficient and in order to make to understand very better. So now let's get started. Bit number 1. What are the types of registers in 8086? Basically 8086 consisting of two types of registers. The first one is general purpose registers and the second one is special function registers. Bit number 2. Dash registers can be used as both 8-bit or 16-bit registers. So the answer will be general purpose. So general purpose registers can be used as both 8-bit or 16-bit. Bit number 3. AX, BX, CX, DX registers are dash bit general purpose registers. So the answer will be 16-bit. So whenever any register value like A, B, C or D is followed by X alphabet, it almost denotes as 16-bit complete register. So the AX, BX, CX and DX will be denoting the 16-bit register. Bit number 4. AX register can be designed as dash and dash. So as I told you earlier, AX is a 16-bit register. So if you want to break the 16-bit register into 8 and 8, you can access them as either AL or AH. So where AL denotes the lower 8 bits and AH denotes the higher 8 bits. Bit number 5. Dash can be used as 8-bit accumulator for 8-bit operations. So the answer will be AL. So the lower bits of accumulator can be used as 8-bit for 8-bit operations. Bit number 6. Dash register is used as default counter in the case of loop and string operations. So the answer will be CX. So each and every register is having their own purpose. So try to make a note of it and try to remember like which register is used for which operation. Bit number 7. Dash register is used as an offset storage forming physical addresses in the case of certain addressing modes. So the answer will be BX register. So BX register is used for offset storage. So offset is nothing but the distance. Let's take an example. I am writing the instruction at A. So I want to make the particular instruction to extend up to B. So the distance from A to B is nothing but offset address. So this is how I can tell you the information like what does an offset mean. Bit number 8. Dash register is used as implicit operand or destination in the case of instructions. So the answer will be DX. So by using the DX register, you can use it as an either for storing operand or else you can either use it for to store the particular value as destination. Bit number 9. 8086 addresses dash memory. So 8086 addresses segmented memory. Segmented memory means like dividing the whole memory into different segments like different parts. Bit number 10. The complete 1 megabyte of 8086 is divided into dash logical segments. Each segment contains dash bytes of memory. So the total memory that 8086 can address is 1 megabyte. So this particular 1 megabyte will be divided into 16 logical segments. Like this 1 megabyte will be divided into 16 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, so on 16. So this 1 to 16 parts, each part will be of size of 64k bytes, like 64 kilobytes. So it is one of the most important question. Hope you understand. Bit number 11. Name the segment registers of 8086. Basically segment registers are of 4 types. The first one is code segment register, next one is data segment, and next one is extra segment, and the final one is the stack segment register. So each will be having their own short form. Bit number 12. Dash register is used for addressing a memory location in the code segment of memory. So the question like the answer is in the question itself. So dash register is used for addressing memory location in code segment of memory. So the answer will be code segment register. Bit number 13. The stack in 8086 grows dash. So he's asking whether the stack grows either upwards or downwards. So in 8086 the stack always grows downwards. So from higher to lower. Bit number 14. The physical address is calculated from two parts. So they are. So the physical address is usually calculated from either from both segment address and offset. So what they'll do is they'll add both the values of segment address and offset. So before adding, they'll do one thing, like they will be left shifting the segment address 4 times left side, and they'll be adding offset. So when they add both of them, you'll be getting something called physical address, so which is of 20 bit. So the size of physical address is nothing but 20 bit. Bit number 15. Dash registers are used as general registers as well as offset storage in the case of relative and index based addressing modes. So the answer will be index registers. So index registers is used as offset storage. So in the case of relative and index based addressing modes. Bit number 16. Dash registers are used for string manipulations. So the answer will be index registers. So if you want to manipulate strings like string concatenation or string like many operations on strings, so you will be using index registers. Bit number 17. Dash is used to store the offset of source data in data segment, while dash is used to store the offset of destination in the data segment. So in order to store the offset of source data, you will be using source index register. And by the way, if you want to store the offset of destination in the data segment, you will be using destination index register. Bit number 18. 8086 supports dash bit of ALU and supports dash addressing capability. So here 8086 supports 16-bit of ALU. Why? Because 8086 is something but 16-bit CPU, right? 16-bit microprocessor, and supports segmented memory. I told you earlier the 1 megabyte of memory will be divided into 16 segments. So if they are using segmenting method, so obviously it will follow segmented addressing capability. Bit number 19. The complete architecture of 8086 is divided into two parts. They are. So most of the people will be having, what does architecture mean? So architecture means like how the particular instructions will be executed, how they will be fetched, how they will be decoded. So what are the units which will be doing all the stuff. So this all comes under architecture. So the whole architecture will be divided into two parts. So those two parts are handled by two units. The first unit is nothing but bus interface unit, and the second unit is execution unit. Bit number 20. The bus interface unit contains precoding instruction byte queue of dash bytes. So obviously the size of precoding instruction queue is nothing but 6 bytes. So this queue is used for storing the data, like fetching the data once the particular data is out of the queue and all the stuff. So which will be of 6 bytes. So the particular order of stack like queue will be first in first out. So what does it mean is whichever value which comes into this queue firstly, the same value which will be going out of the queue firstly. So this means first in first out. Bit number 21. Dash unit makes system bus signals available for external interfacing of devices. So the answer will be bus interface unit. Basically for 8086 microprocessor, like microprocessor means all will not be embedded onto the chip itself. So there are many things which needs to be connected externally. So if you want to communicate with the external devices, like if you want to send the communication or if you want to receive the communication, there should be some bus signals. So the bus signals will be provided by bus interface unit in order to communicate with the external interfacing of devices. Bit number 22. The complete size of physical address in 8086 is dash. So the complete size of physical address in 8086 is 20 bit. So as I told you earlier, this 20 bit address is formed by left shifting segment address 4 times and adding offset to it. So when you particular left shift the segment address 4 times and add the content of segment register, the physical address will be formed. So the size of physical bit address will be 20 bit. Bit number 23. The hash unit contains a register set of 8086 except segment registers and IP. So the answer will be execution unit. Bit number 24. 8086 is dash CPU with dash pins available in dash clock rates. So most important bit. So 8086 is 16-bit CPU with 40 pin. So 8086 microprocessor will be having 40 pins and it supports 3 clock rates like 5 MHz, 8 MHz and 10 MHz. So in the questions they'll be asking you what are the clock rates supported by 8086. Then you should be able to answer like 5, 8 or 10. Bit number 25. 8086 is dash bit microprocessor. And the answer is 16-bit. So as you have seen previously. Bit number 26. Dash unit decodes the opcode bytes issued from instruction byte queue. So the answer will be decoding unit. So decoding unit is responsible for decoding the operation bytes which are issued from the instruction byte queue. Bit number 27. Dash unit derives the necessary control signals to execute the instruction opcode executed from queue. The answer will be timing and control unit. Don't get confused in between both of them. So the decoding unit will be decoding the instructions, whereas timing and control unit will be providing the control signals. So in order to, like, whenever the particular instruction is being executed, this signal will be providing the necessary control signals. So in order to execute the instructions from queue. Bit number 28. The CPU 8086 is able to address dash bytes of physical memory which can be divided into dash segments, each of dash byte size. So as I told you earlier, it can address 1 megabytes and each will be divided into 16 segments. So each segment will be of 64 kilobyte size. Bit number 29. 8086 has dash flag register which can be divided into dash and what are they. So basically 8086 supports 16-bit flag register. So as it is 16-bit, they can be divided into 8-bit and 8-bit. So the first higher bit is called control flag register and the particular lower flag is called machine control flag. So let's say an example, the control flag register will be higher byte and which contains direction flag, interrupt flag and trap flag. So if you want to know for more information, we can see about these flags in the further slides. Bit number 30. Dash flag is set when the result of any computation is negative. So the answer will be sign flag. Bit number 31. Dash flag is set if the result of computation or comparison between previous instruction is 0. The answer will be 0 flag. Bit number 32. Dash flag is set to 1 if the lower byte of the result contains even number of ones. So the answer will be parity flag. So parity flag is responsible to inform whether our instruction, like our result, will be containing how many number of ones. But in the case of 8086, it will be denoting the even number of ones in the lower byte of result. Bit number 33. Dash flag is set to 1 when there is a carry out of MSB in the case of addition or borrow in case of subtraction. So the answer will be carry flag. Bit number 34. Dash flag is set when the processor enters the single step execution mode. So the answer will be trap flag. So the information of all these flags are very important. So don't get confused and try to remember all the points. Bit number 35. Dash flag is set if the maskable interrupts are recognizable CPU. The answer will be interrupt flag. So when there is any interrupt which will be recognized by CPU, it almost sets the interrupt flag. Bit number 36. Dash flag is used by string manipulation instructions. The answer will be direction flag. So depending upon the value of direction flag, we can able to know whether the string is processed from either lower to higher address or higher to lower address. So if the flag bit is 0, then means the particular string is accessed from lower to higher. So if it is accessed from lower to higher, it is called auto incremented mode. So if it is from higher to lower, it is called auto decrementing mode. Bit number 37. Dash flag is set when there is a carry from lowest nibble. So the answer will be auxiliary flag. So basically we'll be having 8 bit. So in 8 bits, the bits from 0 to 3 are called lower nibble and the bits from 4 to 7 is called higher nibble. So if there is a carry from bit 3 to bit 4, it is called like from lowest nibble to highest nibble, then we will say that carry flag is being set. because there is a carry from lower to higher nibble. Bit number 38. Dash flag is set when an overflow occurs. So the answer is simple. Overflow flag. Bit number 39. Dash, like interrupt request is dash. So the interrupt request is level triggered input. Bit number 40. Dash input is examined by wait instruction. So the answer will be test. So test input is the instruction, so which will be examined by the wait instruction. Bit number 41. Dash is an edge triggered input which causes type 2 interrupt. So the answer will be non-maskable interrupt. So non-maskable is an edge triggered, whereas interrupt request is a level triggered. So try to make differentiate both of them. Bit number 42. Dash input causes the processor to terminate the current activity and execution from dash. It means that reset is the input, so which causes the processor to terminate the current activity. So whatever activity is doing, it will just stop it and it will start execute from, so like whenever the reset has been happened and the particular processor has been started again, so it will start executing from the address FFFF0. So H is nothing but hexadecimal. So whenever if there is any digit, like if there is any, like if there is H after any value, it is means that it is an hexadecimal. It is representing as hexadecimal. So don't think H also as a digit. It is denoting as hexadecimal. Bit number 43. The reset signal is active high and must be active for at least dash cycles. So the answer will be 4 cycles. So reset signal is active high signal and it has to be active for at least 4 cycles. So what does it mean is, so if you want to reset the system, the reset signal should be high for 4 cycles. It means that for 4 cycle it has to be pressed, it has to be on. So in order to make your particular reset pin, like if you want to make your processor to be reset. Bit number 44. The clock input for 8086 is asymmetric square wave with dash duty cycle. So the answer will be 33% duty cycle. So the clock input for 8086 is asymmetric square wave. So we have to note it, like they will be asking rectangle wave, triangular wave. So the answer will be asymmetric square wave with 33% duty cycle. Bit number 45. The logic level at dash pin decides whether the processor is to operate in either minimum or maximum mode. So the answer will be MN or maximum pin. So here you have to note, like there will be a bar on the top of MX. So MN MX bar. So on the top of maximum pin, you'll be having a bar symbol. So for me in the notes, I can't be able to make it. So that's the reason I have added as a note. So try to make a note of it. Bit number 46. When dash pin is low, it indicates CPU is having an input-output operation, and it's high, it indicates the CPU is having memory location. So memory input-output. So memory input-output indicates whether the CPU is executing either input-output operation or the CPU is indicating whether a memory operation. Like it is handling either memory operations or it is handling either input-output operation. So here also try to make a note, like on the top of input output there will be a bar. Bit number 47. Dash signal is used as read stop for interrupt acknowledge cycles. So the answer will be interrupt acknowledge pin, like interrupt acknowledge signal. So the interrupt acknowledge signal is used to use it as read stop, like reading whether the input has been handled or not, like input has been interrupt has been occurred or not. So here also on the top of interrupt acknowledge there will be a bar. So whenever this particular pin is low, it means that the processor has accepted the interrupt. So as I told you earlier, interrupt acknowledge is nothing but it is used for reading, like whether the interrupt is handled or not. So if the interrupt is handled, it will acknowledge the interrupt. So whenever it is 0, it means that the interrupt has been accepted. So if it is not 0, it means that the interrupt is still on hold, it has not been accepted. Bit number 48. The dash signal indicates the availability of valid address on the address data lines. So the answer will be address latch enable. So the address latch enable signal indicates whether on the address or data lines if there is any valid address. So here also try to make a note, on the top of ALE there will be a bar. So address latch enable is used to indicate whether there is a valid address on the address data lines. Bit number 49. Dash output is used to decide the direction of data flow through the transceivers. The answer will be data transmit or receive. So here also on the top of R there will be bar. On the receive pin, like on the receive signal, there will be a bar. So whenever this particular data transmit receive, this particular output, what it will be indicating is it wants to inform us whether it is sending out data or it is receiving the data. So whenever the processor is sending out the data, the signal will be high. So whenever it is receiving the data, the signal will be low. So it is the use of the data transmit receive pin signal, I mean. Bit number 50. Dash signal indicates the availability of valid data over the address data lines. So the answer will be data enable. So if you want to know whether the particular there is a valid address on the data address lines, address latch enable will be explaining us. So if you want to know whether there is a valid data on the address data lines, so it will be taken care by data enable pin. So on the case of data enable pin also, there will be a bar on top of it. So try to make a note of it. Bit number 51. When dash line goes high, it indicates the processor that another master is requesting access. The answer will be hold. So whenever the hold pin goes high, it will indicate to the processor that okay, next person is also accessing the requested bus. So whenever this situation happens, the hold bit will go high. Bit number 52. Dash output pin indicates the other systems, bus masters, prevention from getting the bus. So the answer will be lock. So if you want to make the other bus masters not to access the bus, you can just set the signal called lock. So here make a note, on the top of lock also there will be a bar. Bit number 53. Dash line gives the information about the status of code prefetch queue. The answer will be QS1 and QS2. So the QS lines and so the lines QS1 and QS0 will be explaining us about whether the status of code prefetch queue, whether it is decoding or whether it is fetching, all the stuff. Bit number 54. Dash pins are used by other local bus masters in maximum mode to force the processor to release the local bus at the end of process current bus cycle. The answer will be request grant. So in request grant you'll be having request grant GT0, request grant GT1. So you'll be having two signals. So here this particular two signals will be used by the bus masters. So in order to make the processor to release the bus. So here also make a note, there will be a bar on the top of both of them. Bit number 55. The 8086 has been organized as even and odd banks of each dash bytes. So it is one of the most important one, as 8086 has been physically organized into even banks and odd banks. So even banks and odd banks will be of almost 512 kilobytes. Okay, so it is also one of the most important bit, make a note of it. Hope this video has given you valuable information. So if you're having any queries, comment me on the comment section. So meet you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.